This is for Good Friday. This is Mark's Gospel telling us what's occurring roughly between 6 a.m. from the time that the cock crows until this is telling us what happens from 6 a.m. when the cock crows to 9 a.m. when Jesus is taken to be crucified. As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus and led him away and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the festival, he used to release a prisoner for them, anyone for whom they asked. Now a man called Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder during the insurrection. So the crowd came and began to ask for Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priests had handed him over. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Whoops, bumped into my computer. Sorry. Pilate spoke to them again. "Then what do you wish me to do with the man you call the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him." Pilate answered, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be mocked. Then the soldiers led him into the courtyard of the palace, the governor's headquarters, and they called together the whole cohort, and they clothed him in a purple cloak. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him. And they began saluting him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they struck his head with a reed, spat upon him, and knelt down in mock homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of the purple cloak, put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. I think when I consider this, that Pilate often gets off way too easily. At 6 a.m., Pilate is already sitting in place to receive the chief priests, elders, and this man from Galilee, the Son of Man, this Jesus of Nazareth. You are not open for business at 6 a.m. unless that is part of the plan. Pilate was conspiring very well with the chief priests and elders. Each of them is getting things that they want out of this deal. Pilate is giving himself plausible deniability. "Oh, I offered someone else. And instead, you said crucify him to this man." He is also getting the idea that this person was called King of the Jews. And he gets to insert the idea that the emperor is more powerful than any king. He gets to assert Rome's right. He also would be troubled by someone who claimed a kingship other than the kingship of Caesar. He also would have reasons to crucify Jesus. Barabbas is most likely what we would consider a freedom fighter. After all, it says he had committed murder during the insurrection. This is someone who very plausibly murdered Romans. He would have been a popular figure with a number of Jewish circles. And that Barabbas is offered up against Jesus is indicating how afraid the Romans were of Jesus, that they're willing to let someone who is probably a killer of Romans go free so that this person can be crucified. Also, this crowd who was there at 6 a.m. in the morning. They were there when dawn came. This crowd that fills the governor's, the court of the governor's palace is a early morning crowd. When I consider the news sources from this last year, when I consider hearing about demonstrations, whether it be associated with Black Lives Matter, whether it be associated with the election, whether it be associated with encouraging states to open up, or whether it be associated with a number of matters. These demonstrations, and I tried to give a range of different demonstrations. I recognize that there are some big differences, other than the fact that these didn't start at 6 a.m. Demonstrations started later in the day when people had gotten up, they had had their cups of coffee, they had prepared themselves for the day ahead. You don't start a demonstration at 6 a.m. because you want people to be there. A demonstration at 6 a.m. is a demonstration that is trying to happen under the cover of darkness. As quick as possible, this crowd and the chief priests and the elders and the scribe and the Roman governor are getting a judgment to happen. So before other people have any idea what's going on, Jesus has been tried and convicted by the Roman governor and set out to be crucified. Jesus is going through a kangaroo court and a kangaroo trial because all of the people in power are afraid of him. Because what the humans want when we want power, we want to hold on for it for ourselves. Jesus is a threat to the Romans, the chief priests, the elders, the scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Herodians. Jesus is a threat to all of these people in power and privilege. Jesus scares them. They don't understand him. When they give him an opportunity to answer back, he doesn't say anything. Now, there could be a number of reasons for that. It's possible that Jesus at this point was so exhausted that he didn't know how to speak. He has, after all, been beaten time and time again over the last few hours, and he has not had sleep a long time. It's also possible that not only does he know what's going on, but that he is choosing for it to happen. Remember, in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus asks first for this cup to be taken away, but then he affirms that God's will, not his will, be done. He asks for the strength to continue through with this. He asks for the strength and the ability to do what God will ask of him. Jesus knows what is coming. He knows what is lying in his future. He knows before the mob ever gets there that the cross is his future. And he knows that through the cross and through death, he will secure our future as well. People in power are always scared of Jesus. He seeks not after himself, but for others. And that will always be a threat to their way of thinking. Jesus radically shifts our ideas and makes us engage in different ways. What does Good Friday mean? Good Friday means Jesus, the Son of Man, Jesus of Nazareth, the Son of God, choosing crucifixion, saying nothing and doing nothing to change that reality.